Good morning, Nicole Bernard.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Business Athlete Nation. Hey, I'm not a bandwagon jumper. I'm going to wear it, proudly, whether we're winning or losing. I'm going to share 3 clips with you guys in a few moments about my experience last night. We might have been a few moments late because my computer's running a little slow. Not old Uncle Keith over here. Nope. Although, there we go. This just seems to fall second in the list all the time. This just might have to be part of the opening segment where we go to some nice opening music to the old jig, jig, jig. So anybody laying in bed, they're like, I think this is one of those tunes that if somebody's listening to us background right now, it's like, turn it off.
Right.
It's
like it's just recognizable. It's like that, last call for alcohol song that they like kick everybody out on. Like this is like, get up.
That's, you know what? You're right. Yeah, we've just, so this is a 268 BPM song. So let's just do, oh no, that's not the right one. So let's just see this here. Oh yeah, 268. All right. So my plan here, let's just see if we can maybe keep it up. Let's check this out. Oh, all right. So I think we've just discovered maybe a new segment. A few more, like 3 minutes in, we speed up the BPM. Pick up the walk. So if you're sitting there and if you want to be slower, you better just get up earlier.
To avoid us.
To avoid us. It is nice to see people waiting in the room though when I showed up. That's pretty cool. You have to admit it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And before the doors even opened, there was a heart. It was like, hey, like, oh, okay.
Aww.
Yeah. We're talking poop today.
I just saw that. So yeah.
Yes, we are.
I mean, why wouldn't we talk about poop on this show?
We are talking poop with Kiley Houck. She'll be coming up she was featured in the Creator Spotlight last week by Trish Edwards, I believe it was. And so she's going to be joining us a little bit later in our show to talk about poop. I'm just going to leave it there, Nicole. I'm going to wash my hands of it. Every pun intended. And let's do this. Let's wake up with our cup of coffee this way. Kylie's in the green room there. We'll invite her in a few moments. Hello, Kiley Houck. Why don't we open the discussion with Nicole? Why don't I show you how last night started for me, and then I'll take you to kind of the. So I don't think LinkedIn has ever seen a whiteout before. So I'm going to show LinkedIn a whiteout. I'm going to show you a whiteout, and I'm going to show you what that's all about. You know what? I'm just going to, what the heck? Let's just bring Kiley Houck to the stage here, and she can be part of the conversation. That's what we're trying to do here. So, Kiley Houck.
Hello, how are you?
Exceptional. How are you doing?
I am peachy. Good morning. So happy to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. We are happy to have you. We always happy to welcome the new guests. We're about to go into my little, experiential, self-confess. Well, just what happened last night. So I'm a huge Winnipeg. What's that?
Are you gonna cry?
No, I'm not gonna cry. No, I'm good. No space needed. I'll show you 3 clips. I think it'll be kind of fun. So I'm gonna do this here. We're gonna do. We'll start with this one right here.
Okay, so if I do this.
Oh, how do I do that?
Okay, so if I do this right, we're on the way to the Jets game. We're gonna be coming home happy today. Beezy's driving. Yeah. And if this happens right, we're coming home happy. If it doesn't go right, coming home sad. Pretty obvious.
Okay, so that was the first segment in our experience, and then we got to the rink and had an exceptional time, and then this happened. So here's the whiteout that LinkedIn's never seen, and Nicole and Kiley, I'm sure you've never seen this before. So allow me to introduce you to a Winnipeg whiteout. Well, I had zero budget for this show, so I had to capture that content myself. So no, I'm not paying anybody. That's just a piece of video there. So So that's 15,225 people all dressed in white, all waving our pom-poms, and it's a pretty exceptional experience. And then the game went on. It was an exceptional hockey game. Kylie and Nicole, it was 2-2, and through, it was a great hockey game. And then within moments, it was 4-2 Colorado, and then it was 5-2 Colorado, and then we came home, and it was like this.
Sadness. We lost.
So there you have it.
Sorry.
That was my night last night. Oops, wrong one there. There you go. Yeah, so there you have it. That was my night. Kiley Houck, Nicole Bernard. But I'm not a bandwagon jumper. I am a proud, true invested. Damn it. Got tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars in his hockey team. Just want to win a Stanley Cup. That's all.
So are they, is it the playoffs right now, or is it the Stanley Cup has started, or because you played the Capitals the other day, right?
No. So I was teasing with Marty because his team has won. I'm just having some troubles here with my audio. He has won. There we go. His Capitals have won a lot of Stanley Cups, much more than my Winnipeg Jets. But no, we're going down different paths. If eventually, if we both do well, we will meet. In the Stanley Cup Finals. But yes, the Stanley Cup playoffs have started. If you win 16 games, you'll win the cup. We've won one, and we've lost one, so we have 15 more wins to go. Yeah. Okay,
we got time. Y'all got time.
Oh, I love the optimism. Oh, for sure. Oh, yes. So we're back again on Friday. So next time we talk about this, I guess in the live stream, other than just every single day, Nicole Bernard, it will be post game will be Monday morning after 2 more games. So it'll either be immense happiness or immense sadness, or perhaps still in mediocrity at the moment. But I think, yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna start paying attention to hockey.
You are gonna, yes, I know you. I got you paying attention. I'm sure I got C Marty Fit paying attention. I'm determined to get Business Athlete Nation paying attention. I think I got Kiley Houck paying attention now.
Oh yeah, I'm interested. I'm more of a football girl, but I love all sports.
Kiley, where do you join us from today?
So actually right now I am hanging out on the Gulf, and I'm in Panama, Florida, but I'm originally from Kentucky, but I live in Washington. So I am a mess.
Oh yeah, clearly. So we're gonna, Kiley Houck is your champion in diet liberation, mindful eating, more than just a coach, pathway to freedom, struggling with the endless cycle of dieting. Kiley turned her battles into victories. Now she's here to guide you to do the same, because eating, well, it should be good and not guilty. Nicole Bernard, I crushed some good food at the arena last night, which was quite nice. Kiley, we're going to get to you a little bit later in the show. We're going to come back and talk pooping and how you got here. You got here because you were nominated by Trisha Edwards for Creator Spotlight, and then you got somebody up on the stage today. Yes, I did. I'm very excited. It's turning into an exceptional thing, Nicole.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It really is, because it turns into a pay it forward. And then the other person doesn't even know it, right? So I surprised Kiley yesterday with hey, you're going to be on the show. Who do you want to nominate? She's like, oh, and she didn't even take a second she's like, boom, right? Mm-hmm. And this person has no idea. So now, we're going to talk about this person, and then we're going to invite them on the show, and it's actually a lot of fun.
It is.
It really is a lot of fun. It turned into something really exceptionally fun. Also on the show today, we're going to do an accountability check-in. Kiley, Nicole, we are going to talk about, let's see, I'm doing pretty good with time today. I'm working real hard on my segment times, Nicole. Are you obsessed with getting everything perfect? We're going to come to that in a few moments. I know I used to be really obsessed with getting everything perfect before I even started. Mm-hmm. Often I just wouldn't finish it because I just couldn't get, I'd start something, or I would try, right? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to run a clip. Lauren shared this with me last night. Tony Robbins clip. 7 minutes. We're going to watch this together, nation. You pay attention. If you get your coffee, get ready. You're about the 7:20 some odd mark. 7 minutes that will change the way you see yourself. Kiley Houck leans into the camera. Interesting. And then we're going to talk, Kiley, we're going to talk pooping. And we're going to talk Yeah. You know what? We're just gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave the hook there. It's funny because I was when I posted this last night, Nicole, before I was heading to bed, which was 1:30 Central Time. So I get up at 4:50, so it was just a few hours. So I do have a nap planned today, Nicole Bernard. That's on the schedule.
Good.
True story. Yeah. Yes. I was writing up the description for this morning show, and I was like, can I use the emoji? And sure enough, I was able to use the poop emoji. So we're talking poop today with Kiley. We're also going to talk our creator segment, creator spotlight, and a few other topics along the way for the show. So why don't we dial it up? I'm just going to turn some music back on here in my ears. It just feels better when there's music on, even if you guys can't hear it. There we go. It's better. Yeah, it just feels better for me. There you go. You guys can hear that, right?
Uh-huh.
A little bit? Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So before we go to accountability, I want to get into, here's what I want to do. I want to shine a light over to my colleague, my co-host, Nicole Bernard. Nicole, you did something awesome yesterday that I want to talk about because you were vulnerable. You dipped into your past. You shared some family photos, and they were damn awesome. And I know you took the lead off the conversation that we had with our friend Matt Rose and the chicken wrangler yesterday.
Anthony's the one that got me thinking about it on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what started it. And then chickens yesterday. I was like, well, okay.
Good on you. I loved it. So let's just pull this up and talk about them. So before we get into accountability spotlight, let's talk about Nicole's little blast from the past here. So Nicole, check this out, man. You're like, where's this? Is this the restaurant?
This is the brewery. So yeah, my husband built that with his own hands. It's like a chicken coop style, just bigger. And we had 6 taps on.
No kidding.
It's like literally in our backyard. Yep.
So this is 2007, this picture here?
No, that is probably.
I'm thinking not 2007.
No, it's probably like 2012. I think that was our first season with the brewery open.
Okay, cool. Then we go. So so clearly this week has gone to the chickens. So we've had a whiteout today in the lab on mornings in the lab. Now we have chickens in the lab. I love this one. Nicole's like, yeah, this is actually a horse parked outside of the restaurant, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, there's like you can see there's all cars, and this lady tied her horse like parallel parked him. I was like, all right.
Parallel parking the horse. Yeah. We welcome everybody here to the lab. What's this here? An artisanal kitchen?
Yep. That's some of the bread I would bake every Saturday morning.
Goodness.
And that was just vegetables getting ready for the farmer's market that we did every Saturday and Tuesday.
That looks fun. That looks really fun. Yeah. There you go.
I mean, I didn't bake for like years after we closed the farm.
No, done with bacon. But of course, Nicole's known for the Bubbles and Biz newsletter and podcast, and she likes to weave this in to the content, and I love it because it even just weaves the conversation I had with Margaret Jennings yesterday about just posting stuff that you just naturally do in your life, and having a glass of wine, a glass of champagne's part of you, and it's your content, right? Which I think is exceptional.
Well, we made that wine. That was the one year we made wine under our own label.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That Reeser, my mom made the logo, like the whole wine label. She was an artist, so.
Only the 1 year?
The wine we only did 1 year, yeah. The beer we did for 4. So.
Oh, exceptional. Okay, so you have a little friend here in the lab?
Yep, his name was Isaac. My daughter named him. Sheep are better than goats. I meant to put that in there too. Sorry for goat lovers, but.
She's what? Say it again.
Sheep are just more fun than goats. We had a few goats too, but the sheep, I always love them because they're just so sweet and a little more docile. Oh,
yes. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Let's see here. We come. Oh, so I like this one. This is clearly, this is your dog. This is the backyard, or where's this at?
Yeah. So that's the outside of the brewery. To the left a little bit, there's a big door, and you can see like that from that first picture looking in. But yeah, that was just, people would sit on picnic benches. They'd stroll through the vegetable garden. That was just a view. That was our sign. Again, my mom made that.
Awesome.
That was like, that's little Arlo.
There you go. Little Arlo. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He's 11. He'll be 11 this year.
Oh, wow. Okay. And how old is he here? Probably 1, 2.
Like if barely one, if that.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Oh, there you go. You got your beer. You got your logo on the stage there. Look at you, little entrepreneur. That's fantastic.
Arlo and the carrots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beer.
Yep. That was the beer. That was
Nice.
our other sheep. Her name is Annie, and that's looking down like from our back deck to the brewery, and then those are the mountains and the Columbia River behind it.
So I will tell you, I really felt like I got a chance to get to know you as I looked through your memories yesterday. I'll be, and this is awesome because it shows me. So give me some context and give Nation context that's paying attention right now. What are we? Does this look very similar to what it looks like today? Not obviously not the kids, but like, are you far from where the farm is right now, or do you live around the farm, or?
Yeah, no. So we sold it in 2017 after we ended up closing. But yeah, we live like 25 minutes from there. We just live further down the gorge where it's a little sunnier than where the farm was. Yeah.
Exceptional. That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's you've got a great response too, I'm thinking.
Yeah. And it was fun to walk down memory lane for a second,
Absolutely it is. Yeah, that's excellent. All right, let's Kylie, do you spend time doing memory lane moments like that too yourself?
I don't really post a lot about my past, mainly because I didn't really take a lot of pictures from my past. I was so uncomfortable all the time, so I never really wanted to capture that. But I am always open to talk about it. I'm not someone who shies away from uncomfortability anymore.
That's interesting. Well, thanks for sharing. That's a good hook for what's coming up too. That's thanks for sharing that. Let's get into our accountability spotlight for this morning, Nicole and Kylie. It's just around this topic, and every single morning we post content on LinkedIn, and it's around a topic for discussion to get the world talking about, which is, are you obsessed? Today we're talking about, are you obsessed with getting everything perfect? Yes. I used to be. Is that you, Kylie?
100% true perfectionist.
Yes. Nicole?
No.
Pretty go with the flow?
So.
Yeah. I'd say that as I've aged, I've definitely become less. I'm more of now of the incrementally, let's get 1% better every single day. I've had to learn that, and I've learned the benefit of that. But I used to be all about every detail must be flawless. Anything less wasn't good enough. But be honest with yourself. The thing you're trying to perfect, really, it never be really good enough. And that's just what's kind of a struggle, right? Is that when you're always trying to think it's going to be perfect, is it ever going to be perfect? So when we obsess over perfection, we actually accomplish nothing at all because we never get started or we never finish what we're trying to start. So when you think about it, because there's something always going to be out of place, something's going to be missing. There's going to be a wrong timing in a comedic joke or something you're trying to write or create. There's this, there's that. It never frankly ends, right? So what finally broke my personal perfection was just this idea of action and consistency, right? And I know, Nicole, you and I have talked about this a lot on this show. When I had this conversation with Margaret yesterday, MJ was, just taking the plunge and getting a start. And again, I know, Nicole, it's a theme you know I was always bonded over, which is just getting started, putting one foot behind the other, and then all that doubt and wondering what people will have to say or think about you. And I think probably, Kylie, you can relate to this. You just let it go, right?
Yeah.
You just,
because
it's been getting in your way, right? And the moment you can let that go, you've actually got it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have found, anyways. Is the more you connect, you can just let aside what others are really kind of thinking or doubt or so forth, and kind of imposter syndrome that you might be wearing. Just got to rock and roll forward.
I think you're right too. I think that does come with age. Yes. I don't remember feeling as okay with that kind of stuff when I was younger, but now it's like, whatever.
It's true. Well, listen, let's flip to the next segment. Let's flip to and listen here. I'm going to put this on. It's a 7-minute segment, so it takes it to the bottom of our 60 minutes. While you're watching, if you want to sneak and grab a coffee, that's awesome as well. I'm going to put this up there. I'll leave this on the screen though, so we can watch it. No, well, whatever. I'll put it up there. You guys want to step away, but I'll leave this up. We can talk about this after the show, after the 7 minutes. It's Tony Robbins. It's Discover Your True Self. It is. It's actually, I thought, quite exceptional. So I'm going to pull it up here. I'm going to go. We're going to discuss it here. Hold on a second. Boom. There we go. All right, let's do it.
are you in, or really in, or what business you need to be in. Not why you're in the business, not what you want in the business, but who are you in your core? And let me explain. All of us in this room have different gifts that we can give, regardless of our business. I have found there are what I would call 3 gifts of labor. And when I say labor, I believe other than my love and other than your love, the greatest gift we can give someone other than our love is our labor. And in my case, my labor is a source of love. I'm trying to love you into the place you get what you want, whether you know it or not. It might sound corny to you, but it's really what's true in my heart. And so it gives me great joy that there are 3 gifts you can give through your labor. You can first give the gift of being a great artist or talent or a skilled producer. Now, if this is your primary gift, it means that what excites you is creating things. That's what artists do. When I say artist, I don't just mean like someone who paints. Your art might be negotiation. Your art might be writing software code better than anybody else. Your art might be designing fashion better than anybody else. These people live to produce some form of product or service or result, and they love to see its impact on people's lives. That is their primary drive and motivation. That's what rewards them. The artist wants to make money, we all do, but the artist will never sell out. They don't really want to sell the business. When I talk about selling a business, all the artists look at me with this confused look like, why would I do that? This is what I want to do the rest of my life. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that limits to what you're going to build in the business if that's the only filter you use. Now, the second gift that you could give someone is the gift of being a manager or leader. If you're a manager or leader, your labor, your skill, your ability is really to manage people and processes. And people that are manager leaders, they love to manage people. Artists usually get frustrated with too many people because they just want to create what they want. But a manager leader loves it. And they don't just love managing the people, they love managing the process, they want to make it better. They're about building a system, which, by the way, a business is a system for adding value. An organization is only a system, because if you leave and there's no system, there's no business. But if there's a system, it'll go on even when you're not there, whether it's McDonald's or GE. So you can replace the people and it still works. That's a system. Manager leaders are outstanding at that. The third person is what we call an entrepreneur, or a better term would be a massive risk taker. Because most of you in this room consider yourself to be an entrepreneur, but I would argue to you that maybe the language would be more accurate is you're entrepreneurial, meaning you enjoy creating things, including lots of different companies, but that's not an entrepreneur. What makes them an entrepreneur is they're in it for the economics and they're in it for the juice of the ups and downs. They actually love taking risks. Ted Turner has been near bankruptcy 6 times. Once he went bankrupt.
Can a man in your position lose all his money suddenly? Sure. Happens all the time.
But 5 other times he's near it, and he just got up and did it again. He's juiced about it.
It's felt fun, W-I-N.
That's a true entrepreneur. And they're, unlike the artist or the manager leader, they're happy to sell the business. You'll be able to sell the business, and they'll just buy another one, or they'll start another one, and they might like the product, but the product can change. It's not about the product for the entrepreneur. It's about creating this business that they can make money out of and sell. So it's a different mindset. So I have a friend who said to me, well, I'm a medical doctor and I have 3 centers and I'm the best entrepreneur I know. And I looked at him and go, dude, let me help you. What if you had to choose between helping people in 3 locations versus selling the business and making a 10x profit? He goes, I'd never do that. It would be wrong for my patients. I want to be there for all of them. He's just an overproductive artist. And by the way, he makes money, but nowhere near as much as he could, because he's not looking to maximize it. He says he does, but it's not his nature. His nature is do more cool things for people, which he enjoys, and he's entrepreneurial. He's more entrepreneurial than the people he knows, but the people he knows are not true entrepreneurs. So here's the truth. If money wasn't a question, what would I do? Would I want to trade things for people, see them light up? Would I want to run the organization, manage people and processes? Do I want to take the risk, be there, sell it, do something else again? What is your nature? Now, you might have all 3 skills, but they're not equal. We all have one that we're better at than the others. And the secret to fulfillment, you can do all 3 of these, but if you're going to be fulfilled, you got to spend the majority of time in your nature. And by the way, under stress, you'll go back to your nature. The artist goes back to working on the products. The manager leader tries to change.
Okay, I'm getting goosebumps right now.
The organization. The entrepreneur wants to sell it and do something else. That's the nature of the person under stress. And under excitement, you tend to go back here. And most people have stress and excitement in their business. So the question becomes not what do you want, but what's your nature so you're most fulfilled. See, many of you came here wanting to be an.
It's not what you want, nation. It's what's your nature. Let's keep it going. A couple minutes left.
Entrepreneur, and you might be better as a skilled artist without all the risks than taking your money and investing in entrepreneurs that are already the best in the world that you'll never be because it's not your nature, and make 10 times your money, 20 times your money, 30 times your money off someone else who takes all the risk, who stays up all night, who never breathes, who finds the way to do it while you party and do what you love. And many of you have not considered that. So the real question is, what's your nature? If you can align with your nature, you'll eliminate so much stress. If you align with your nature, you're going to be 10 times more fulfilled. If you align with your nature, you're going to be 10 times more effective. But most of us have got our egos involved because of the conditioning of society. And we say, I want to be that entrepreneur. I want to be the guy that starts Google or Apple or whatever the case may be. And chances are that's not what you're going to do. You can still build a great business. But those things are usually not what most people experience. So which of these is you at your core? Because the question we're going to answer is this. Who are you in your true nature? Now, I have all three of these skills, but they're not equal. And I'm not fulfilled equally by all three of them. But here's what I've done. I've surrounded myself with people that have the other skills, and I've gotten really good at being an entrepreneur. But guess what I still love most? This. So what do? I've developed that skill. I know how to do it. And in those other businesses, I've surrounded myself with great manager leaders and great entrepreneurs. And I'm a great entrepreneur, but I'm not as great as them because I'll never maximize the profit at the highest level because I want to do more for the customer.
Yes.
That's my nature. So I divorced myself from some of those businesses in that area. I'm the strategist. I bring the value there, but I don't get in the way of decisions. Like, bottom line is I have different people as partners. I play a different role in those places based on the goals of what I want to accomplish in those areas. I'm the last person that would limit you and say you can only do this. I hope you know that about me. But I also want you to be fulfilled. Because in the end, the money's not going to do it. The situation's not going to do it. It's aligning with what fulfills you, will make you fully alive. And if you do that really well, you can also make more money than you can imagine. But you got to know your true nature and you got to align with it. So the question we're going to answer is this. Who are you at your core? What fulfills you most? And who do you need?
Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Who are you? What do you need? What's your nature? Kiley Houck, Nicole Bernard. What'd you think of that?
I loved every bit of it. I already know the answer to all of the questions. It's just really being aware and making the decision to follow it.
Yes.
Let me get rid of this out of my ears. There we go. Good. You already know, and we're going to get to that in a few moments. And that's why we're like kind of weaved it in because, you know, of how I think we met, right? Because there's the, you know, it's what's your nature, what's your true self, what's your core. Nicole, when you reflect upon those three things that Tony talked about, what's yours?
You know, I don't know. I mean, I would say entrepreneur, but it's funny. Like, I just wrote that down to like journal on these later, just because there are, you know, good, there are things I'm good at, there are things I'm bad at, but I don't know. So I would say entrepreneur and then artist and then manager, but I don't know. I love managing as well. So I like all three of them, and I don't know. I want to think about it a little bit more.
I gave it a lot of thought after I saw that last night. I watched it when I got him from the game, and it just, I got goosebumps immediately. Just kind of went, bleh. Yeah. And I wrote a bunch of notes down, and as I reflected upon it, so I'm just going to share some things. I'm going to share. Yeah, there you go. I'll share with Nation here. But I think back to true story. I was 8 years old. I was singing on the front of a school bus. Oh. Take me home, country road, to the place where I belong, West Virginia. So 8 years old. You know, 6 years old, I was asking my parents if I could, you know, go and read the stuff on stage at school. And so there was that kind of that creator stuff going on, right? When I was going to college, I dropped out of college. But it's funny because during that journey my ambition was to make it to the front of the National Enquirer. Now you're thinking, yeah, lean in, Kiley. Yeah. So, and it wasn't so much. So that to me was a metaphor for like, you know, making it in like in media, or making it like in a, where the light was shining on you, I guess. Right. Not, and because it was the tabloid aspect of it, right? There was just people, you were going to create something where people were talking about, right? I took singing lessons. True story. Yeah. I talked with this with Di Manuel and our guest Jonathan Twombly last week. I did a little bit of Donka Shane. Oh, Donka Shane. Yeah, a long time ago. I think I was 20 some odd years old. So to me, there's a pattern there. I'm a creator.
Mm-hmm.
I get so much satisfaction. I'd say when I watch Tony and how he described himself at the end, that's me, right? I love to build and create. Oh my goodness, do I love to build. If I had one choice, I would just create. Yes, I know people say, yeah, but Keith, you built your company and you sold it. This is true, but it wasn't actually me. I surrounded myself with a bunch of really smart people, and then we built it together. And we sold it. And now I'm again creating, right? So when I look at bringing the smart people around me again, I lean into you, Nicole, right? I lean into the folks that I've been working with here. And I'm like, all right, these people seem to be believing what I'm trying to bring out there. And I'm going to create and bring on awesome people around. And then we're going to do this again. And because that's, so if you gave me one choice, that's what I would do. I've always thought of and it's funny because it even goes back to that conversation we had yesterday, Nicole, with about Christopher Lautman and his post about branding yourself as a rock star, or that whole persona, right?
Yeah.
Now, truthfully and admittedly, that I adopted that kind of persona as I was building my last company, because I recognized when I grew up so there's a few guys who did a really good job of that self-branding. I've talked about this publicly before, but the Richard Bransons, the Donald Trumps, the people that knew how to take media back in the 80s and 90s and just shine the light, right? And get publicity and get conversation around them and just create dialogue. So I'm a creator. I'm absolutely a creator. I'm not a big fan of managing people. I like leading people. I love leading people. I love empowering people. I love helping people get to their biggest audacious goals, obviously, because that's what I take such great joy of. I love shining the light on people. I love, like when Tony starts, what is I love? I can really relate to a lot of that, because I love, like Kiley, the joy that Nicole and I had knowing that I said to Tricia, we were like, get little kids. Oh yeah, we'll get to surprise Kiley. Right? And we did, and we surprised you a couple weeks back as we pivot to our creator spotlight with Kiley Houck. A couple weeks back, we got introduced to you through a conversation we had with Tricia Edwards. And she shined the light on you because of your whole philosophy around body shedding, body image. And I was struck by you coming out on a public stage, Nicole Bernard. And Kiley's like, yeah, I lost like 1,000 pounds. And I'm being exaggerative on purpose, because it's not often that a female gets on stage, frankly and honestly, and says, yeah, I was this, and now I live at this, and I'm really proud of myself, and I'm happy with that. Dude, that took a lot of courage. And I think that that's awesome. Like, good for you to do that, and good for you to build your personal brand around that, and then to take other women along the ride for you and then empower them. Like, that itself is really that's got to be a proud reason to get up every single day yourself, Kiley Houck.
100%. I really relate to the manager piece. I was a manager, and it was just like the ability to not lead with a need to be in charge of people, but to lead with integrity and to build something that is so focused on everyone as a whole and really accents their positive strengths and have that build up to an entire process, because we can't do it alone. We're such a community natured group, just being human. We want support, we want love, we want people.
It's true. It's so it's interesting to hear you say it, because we're building an entire business model around what you just said. People want to connect. And we're realizing that, when we get up in the morning, we have our habits, and we're going to get to our habits, maybe pooping habits in a few moments. Again, Kiley Houck. But talk about how you adopted the title of body shedding, and how you that persona is yours, and I really like how you've adopted that as like a brand, and that's what you're really kind of standing behind, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The diet shedding was really just because who I was and how I felt was not me. It wasn't who I wanted to be related to. It wasn't what I wanted to amplify, and I needed to shed that skin almost like a snake. I needed to get rid of it. I needed to move forward. I needed to figure out what was better for me, what I related to. And I know that shedding weight was a huge thing. It's sexy. It's seen in our culture as something that everybody wants. They want that quick fix. They want to be able to be their best version or their skinniest or their most beautiful. And so I was like, okay, that's enticing because mindful eating, that's not sexy. No one wants to do that kind of work. And I kind of related it to the diets and the weight. And then it was also just really empowering for me because it brought me to who I knew I was at my core.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. Kiley, what was the moment for you?
Oh my gosh. So I was in my best friend's wedding. She had just gotten her pictures back and I was so excited to see them. I was her maid of honor and she hands me the picture and I almost don't believe that I'm in it. I was like, I'm not seen. And then I realized the girl in this picture standing next to her that was much larger than I ever realized was me. And I couldn't believe I had let myself get that far.
Were you by yourself in that moment? Were you with your friends? And so again, those that know me, I'm curious about the moment, behind the moment, and then you kind of dig even further than that. So you see the picture. You're with either your friends or sounds like you're with your friends.
Yeah, I'm with it was the bride, so I'm with her, and I definitely hide it in that moment. I didn't want to feel embarrassed. I didn't want to feel like I had done something wrong or that I was in a disappointment. I just had all the shame, guilt inside of me, and I held on to it. And that's actually what drove the weight loss. It was in such a toxic, negative mindset that I took upon my shift. But once I realized that it was exhausting and it wasn't sustainable and I was mentally, physically, emotionally just dying, I was depleted, that's when I threw up my hands and I found relief for the first moment in years. And I wanted to feed that awareness. And that's what got me into mindfulness.
How long ago was that?
So in 2021 is when I stopped dieting. I had lost my 65 pounds, but in 2019, October of 2019, that was when I saw the picture.
Okay.
So you see the picture, you go home that night.
And I'm almost numb by how heartbroken I was.
Yeah.
It was just so heavy. And I was in such disbelief and I wanted to disconnect myself from it because I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want that to be my reality. And so I almost shut myself down to the point where I didn't have to consider that was something I really needed to take charge of. And then the next day I reached out to one of my buddies, and I'm kind of a guy's girl. So I really like my guy friends because I don't have to get all emotional about it with them. And I was just like, hey dude, I know you've been going to the gym, like, can I go with you? And he was like, yeah, for sure. And his support is really what ignited my fire into making a change. He was constantly wanting to get me to where I wanted to be without even knowing how important it was for me and how much it resonated with me and how much it built our relationship and our connection.
It's exceptional. Nicole?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. I'm just soaking it all in.
We have a comment from our good friend Trish, friend of the show, Nicole Bernard, Kiley Houck, Trisha Edwards. Kiley's completely on the right track with shedding diets and eating plans as a way to lose weight. Kiley, the word diet is a word that is it misused in society? Is it used properly? Is it a word that we need to be afraid of? Is it a word that we need to embrace? Many different opinions on it. And I welcome every opinion to the lab. I'm curious what yours is.
I hate labels. I don't like using words in the way that they're commonly used because I think that, like healthy, for example, every time I talk about healthy, I'll put quotes around it. I don't like saying it because everyone's version of healthy is different. And I think diet can be used in so many different contexts that it can get a really bad rap, but also our diet plan is our nutritional plan, is our eating pattern. So it doesn't have to have all of this negativity, but diet culture is a huge thing in our society. And it's so focused on being better, living that perfection, changing everything so that you can fit into this ideal and you can get these short-term results. So if we're looking at it like that, I hate diets. I hate dieting. I hate the concept, but the word, it's just a word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Before we flip to the creator spotlight in a few moments, and then we'll come back to Kiley. I think, Kiley, you can stick around to the end of the show, 55 minutes in. Yeah? Awesome.
Absolutely.
This is great. So we're going to flip the creator spotlight in a moment. Kiley, I want one more question, then we'll come back to you. You mentioned you called your buddy, and this is a great theme because I'd like to think that Nicole called a buddy when I said, hey, anybody looking for an accountability partner, come knock on my door. And, you know, we'd been in a show together a couple of times, and I think I'm stuttering here. So I think maybe my video is stuttering. She knocked on my door, and we did some work together, and now we're doing the show together. Kiley, you said you called a buddy. Mm-hmm. That was the key to your accountability. I'm going to make that assumption, or one of your keys to your accountability in this process.
Yeah,
talk about the power of that.
He was my motivator. He was my discipline. He was my confidant, and he was my biggest support system. He reached out to me a couple of days ago, and he was like, hey, I know we haven't talked in a little bit, but I just want you to know that I see you. And it was, and I'm going to get emotional about it. Yeah. To just hear that from him. And I told him straight up, I was like, dude, you're the reason I'm here. You got me on the right track without me even knowing that was what I needed. And I will forever be not in like debt to him, but just grateful for everything he did for me without even doing it for like intrinsic reason. He just cared.
Mm-hmm. That's exceptional. Would you like to share his name?
Romeo Dumlau.
Shout out my friend Romeo. Good job keeping a friend accountable. If you're listening right now, Nation, and you know, and I know, well, listen, you're listening, Nation, right now. You have a friend that, you know, sometimes you need a little extra nudge, that accountability nudge. Just knock on their door and just check on them, right? Sometimes we don't recognize the power of that little check-in. Yeah. So let's turn our attention to the creator spotlight before we come back to Kiley Houck. So yesterday, Nicole knocked on Kiley's door and said, hey, who are we going to shine the light on for our creator spotlight today? And she said, Mr. Keith, we are going to shine our light, Nicole Bernard, on Tony Shively Robinson. Do I have I'm sorry, don't have the applause today again. I have them here somewhere, but it was a late night. So, Kiley, why did you nominate Tony Robinson to be the creator spotlight of the day today? She's not joining us today, but she's the burnout recovery strategist, helping executives make a big impact by eliminating burnout, establishing balance. But you said she is the balanced business coach.
Yes. So her podcast is the Balanced Business Coach, and she really hones in on burnout and helping people not only navigate burnout in their professional life, but just in their life in general, because it shouldn't have to be that personal versus professional. Like, we can just find a balance and be one person.
Excellent. So, Tony, the lab, myself, I'm going to officially follow you. Boom. Congratulations, Tony. There's those applause. Absolutely. Welcome to the Business Athlete Performance Lab Creator Spotlight. Let's have a look at her profile. So, let's just have a look at her profile here. So if you're passionate and you're a high achieving executive who wants to make a bigger impact, which feels stifled by the debilitating symptoms of burnout, and listen, executives, which one aren't you of that whole statement? And are you tired of showing up to work resentful, feeling completely disconnected from your passion or purpose? Here's a good one too, right? Are you tired of being the Debbie Downer at home with your friends? Well, this is where Tony comes in. You go knock on her door. She's going to help you out. She's going to keep you out of burnout. She's going to give you some of that free burnout training, but she is our creator spotlight today. She's got a free link in her profile. You head on over to Balanced Business Coach on LinkedIn and free training, burnout prevention, and bounce back from Tony Shively Robinson. So if you're listening to this right now and you're burned out, or you're tired, or you're bored as heck, besides taking me to bed with you and putting the show on and get sleep. Yes.
You had to get that in there, didn't you?
Hey, master promoter. At least I'm a master promoter. Oh, there we go. All right. So I promised we were going to talk about poop.
So ready.
We're going to segue from our creator spotlight. We're done with that for the day. Congratulations, Tony, for being nominated. You are welcome to the lab. You know, I'll be knocking on your door to say hello, surprise. And we will want to have you in here to take over that warm chair from Kiley so you can pay it forward. But let's talk poop. Kiley Houck, you made a post a couple of weeks back about poop. And I think the hook was, do you poop? Do you poop daily was the question, was your hook. I think it was.
Did you poop today?
Yes, that's what it was. And then we had a conversation about this. And because I was joking in the comments about it. And so first of all, listen, first of all, people get stressed out of what the heck they're going to post on LinkedIn. And your hook is, did you poop today? Talk about the statement and talk about the conversation of pooping, Kiley Houck, and then finally, why?
Mindful eating has so many different contexts to it. Like, you can really dive into it from so many different angles. And something that was really wrong with my body when I was heavy into the diets was my bowel movements, was pooping. I didn't poop regularly. I was lucky if I could poop every 3 days, maybe every 5. I was constipated, I was bloated, I was uncomfortable, and my gut was destroyed because I was just indulging in the protein shakes, the protein powders, the protein bars. I was constantly feeding myself an immense amount of protein that was not only contributing to my lactose intolerance, which I had no idea I had until I discovered mindfulness, but it was also artificially flavored and had so many additives and preservatives to help with the shelf life, to help with the texture, to help with the flavor. And no one was telling me about that. Everyone was talking about how you need more protein. You have to have this many grams to hit your macros. So I would just kept shoveling it in, but my body couldn't catch up. It couldn't build enough acid to digest it properly. And so it was just causing me so much uncomfortability. And then the more I couldn't poop, the more mentality, like the mindset piece, just fed in, because I looked in the mirror and I looked huge because I was constipated and bloated. And so I just kept in this hamster wheel of, you're not doing enough, I do too much, and my body can't catch up. And then my mind was just deteriorating.
Yeah. What I love about what you did, and I'm going to turn this into business for people. True story. We're going to turn pooping into business. So yesterday I had a conversation with a friend of the lab, Nicole Bernard, who's going to do a segment with us coming up. What's Shaking Margaret Jennings? Story time with MJ. So Margaret reads all the time and she highlights things all the time. And she creates this collection of highlighted segments. And last Friday she did a story time in the lab with MJ. And I'm like, oh my God, you got a great segment. You can brand, you can make your own. You could maybe, make it part of your coaching, make it who you are, right? Because you're doing it anyways. Like, it could become what you're doing. And because we as creators often stress about, what am I going to write about? What am I going to post about? What am I going to do something about? And I'm like, MJ, you actually are doing something anyways. So why don't you just take the extra next step and post about it and make a segment about it? So now I bring it back to Kiley Houck. Well, we're taking it anyways. You're like, yeah, I've had this situation with my life. I'm now going to talk about it. There's other people out there that can relate to you. And you're welcoming the conversation. And that is what I love, because that's what we're all about here, is having a conversation about something. And Nicole, there's a spot on this planet, there's a spot on this platform for a conversation about everything. You talk about nicing down and wanting to make money. Like, I don't know if you're making directly money from talking about pooping, but in terms of your knowledge, your expertise, wanting to have a conversation about that and empowering other women, other males, other human beings to have this dialogue, good on you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm all about the raw, authentic, genuine conversation, because it was so hidden from me for so long that I don't want other people to just be constantly worried and stuck in their heads like something's wrong with me because no one's talking about this.
Yes. What's shaking, Shannon Houchin? I know you're tuning in right now. Nicole, Shannon, I haven't forgotten about you. It's on my to-do list today. We're going to get to that, and I got some stuff for you. So Hey, I got my hockey team I got to support, and I got to get some sleep along the way. But Shannon dropped a note here, and she says, she loves listening to this show. And I think the message we're trying to communicate here is just keeping people accountable, right? And your message, Kiley, is just drawing awareness to that, especially here in the mornings for people. Because let's face it, pooping is a big part of morning habits.
100%. And someone actually mentioned in my comments that they were like, every morning I go on a walk and that helps with my digestion. And I was like, I go on a walk every morning and I poop every morning. Is that why I'm doing it? Like, it was just an awareness for me. And I was like, thank you for bringing that to my attention, because I think that really is helping me get everything going. And I love that.
One, I think it probably relates in many ways to, what Nicole likes to do, run. I know when Lauren talks about running and marathon runners, right? It's that, timing out your morning when you're getting up, when you're having your morning routine, and then you're going for your big run, whether it's an ultra marathon like Nicole's coming up, whether it's a half marathon, whatever you're doing, the idea of pooping is an essential part of that process to get to that next goal, right? And it's something so Nicole, we have our pooping expert for Mornings in the Lab. We are going to welcome Kiley Houck anytime here to talk about pooping with us.
I'm so excited. I'm honored to be I don't know if I can cuss on here, but SHIT talker. I was like, pun, that'd be really funny.
Keith does it all the time. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, you're shit talker. I'm ready.
Well, there we go. You're perfect. As the show's wrapping up, we're at the 55-minute mark. That's my ambition, to wrap this thing up at that. Wrap that time up there so we can do it on the reloop and get it back up here for the top of the hour. Kiley Houck, thank you for joining us this morning. Did you have fun on the show today?
I had a great time. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. Thanks for being you. Thanks for being vulnerable. Thanks for sharing your story. You are welcome. We always say this. Once you've been in the lab, you're always welcome back in the lab. So if you have things you want to share, you have topics you want to talk about, you want to talk about pooping again, you want to bring in, light on something, you come knock on my door, Nicole's door, and we'll bring you in here and have a conversation.
Love it. Don't tempt me with a good time.
Awesome. Nicole Bernard, what's shaking today for you? How was your yesterday?
It was great. Yesterday was great. I don't know what I have going on today, honestly.
Yes.
A lot of work.
That's good. That's good. I'm sure you got lots going on. It's Rest and Recovery Wednesday. So we're going to do some posts. I'm going to take it easy, do some yoga, a little bit of recovery. Got an awesome conversation coming up today with Michael Konetsky.
Oh, fun.
Yes, he's going to join me in the lab this morning at noon here tonight. So I think this is probably a good one to. There we go. That's a good one to actually run the show out, Nicole. Is to kind of walk us out the door here. It's top of the hour, and people can walk out to this tune here, right? So Michael Konetsky is joining me in the lab at noon. He said to me yesterday, "I just want to talk fun." I'm like, "All right, we'll have fun." He goes, "Be out late." I'm like, "I was out late." So if we would have won, we'd probably be more fun, but it'll still be fun. So join me and Michael Konetsky today at 1:00 Eastern time, live in the lab, streaming here on all the feeds. And Nicole, we'll see you back tomorrow morning. See Marty Fitz joining us tomorrow morning. I think we're having a full chat with C. Marty tomorrow.
Fun. Okay.
Kiley Houck, thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great one.
You too. You take care. We'll see everybody. We'll see you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.